Apparently, Halloween has come early as Meghan Markle just made an appearance at the Balenciaga fashion show in Paris in an outfit that I can only describe as a mix between grandma's pajamas and maybe a ghost Halloween costume or maybe a poke costume or something like that. I'm not even doing it to the greatest effect here. And it's so bad, it's laughable, especially her strutting around in videos on Instagram. Guys, I laughed so hard. I really did. But there's something bigger going on here than just another absolute fashion disaster for Meghan Markle, which is that the woman refuses to return to the UK, refuses to allow her children to return to the UK, but is more than willing to traipse around a fashion show in Paris for basically money and publicity. Like, let's be honest, she was brought over there because the guy who runs it now used to be at Valentino and he wants the publicity that Meghan Markle will bring, and he's succeeded. And it also brings up that Balenciaga was at one point under huge fire for having an ad campaign that featured young children with essentially BDS themed background. It was a huge, huge scandal for Balenciaga. This was just a couple years ago. And Meghan claims that she really, really wants to protect children online. But is that really true? Is Meghan always, always going to throw all of her principles away for money, a little bit of a camera flash, and some attention? I think we all know the answer to that. So we are going to explore this latest appearance today. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I do provide compelling royal commentary. So please hit that subscribe button. I'd absolutely love to have you back. Okay, so we are going to dish what is actually a pillow cover, a white pillow cover. Now, I thought, well, I could do a sheet, but then that would be too long. So I went with the pillow cover. But oh my gosh, is this one of the most hideous outfits that we've seen from Meghan Markle in a long line of hideousness? This woman has no sense of style. She has no sense of tact, and she chooses ugly garments constantly. But the funniest thing, guys, is that she thinks she's hot stuff. And she has no metric in her brain that goes, ooh, don't look like Zoolander. Look like a normal human being walking out, because she's trying so hard. The strutting is amazing. So let's just first overall talk about the fashion and why Meghan Markle was at this Balenciaga show. So I did just do a Meghan Markle search in Instagram because, of course, a bunch of things are going to show up. And this is the look. Again, this looks like pajamas. This looks like a Pope's outfit. This looks like a ghost Halloween costume. At any point, does this look good? No. The answer is no. My little shirt looks good though. It came from Zara. I got it when I was in Avignon, or I keep saying Avignon, Provence in France, and it has these cute little bow details on it. But I mean, it looks luxurious, but literally it looks out like she's walking out in her PJs, and not sexy PJs. These are pajama PJs, or PJs you wear like when you're down in the dumps, it's your time in the month, something like that. This is what she's wearing, but she thinks she's hot stuff. Or again, ghost Halloween costume. And she really, really wants you to think she's sexy. So guys, let's watch this on X here because there's so much breaking. Meghan also just left her hotel. And I came to actually a very sinister conclusion about part of this trip, really, that I want to share. But let's watch. I mean, is this not Zoolander? Watch the strutting. She is strutting, guys. Strutting. And then looking back, making sure you get the back half as she awkwardly sits in there right next to her second husband, Marcus Anderson. Because I think we'll get to the conclusion at some point for Harry and Meghan, where Harry will claim there was another person in their relationship, and that person is Marcus Anderson, who is there with Meghan. But like, could you get more obvious? Honestly, she looks super awkward. I think she's trying so hard to be sophisticated that she comes across as super duper awkward. But looking at this outfit again, I just can't help but think how horrid it looks. And I have to say, guys, my mom had a great thought, which is that Meghan is not really smiling here at all. And usually you can't wipe the grin off her face. She's grinning so hard. So this is also another fake persona. And this time she is trying to be a sophisticated supermodel, guys. So she has to have the stoic face to go along with it. Just another example, again, of how fake she is and how she constantly changes her persona to try and match the situation instead of just, trying to be herself. She doesn't know who her real self is, but she's definitely trying to find one. And of course, Meghan Markle is willing to do anything like this. She is desperate for attention. And you just get the sense again, especially with the appearance at her hotel and everything. I'm very curious if she's staying at the Ritz because when I saw this latest picture, I couldn't help but think, oh, is she trying to get her hooks into Harry deeper by recreating a Diana scenario? Like, think about it. What if she's at the Ritz or something? Like, she's literally recreating in some ways the scenario of Diana's death without Harry there. Like, it's really quite sinister. But overall, the fashion is just ridiculous. And I did do a little bit of research because we had actually a whole statement about this appearance. Because, you need to announce why you're going to a fashion show. And so Meghan's spokesperson said, the Duchess of Sussex attended the Balenciaga show in Paris on Saturday night in support of Pier Paolo Pillocchio, who recently assumed the creative director for the house. This marks her first time back to the shows in over a decade. Well, I'm pretty sure Meghan Markle has never had any major fashion shows. Please let me know in the contrary. She would never have gotten an invitation to Paris Fashion Week without Harry. Let's be honest. But it's sort of interesting too, because I look at this whole scenario. She's also there with Tracy Ellis Ross. And so there's the friend connection there. And this guy used to be head of Valentino. Meghan used Valentino a couple of times when she was royal and some other times as well. Not to great effect, I will say. This red outfit that she wore at the arrival in Morocco is not the best. It's kind of weird. It actually sort of reminds me of, again, the Halloween costume that we are wearing for this evening because Meghan wants to be a virginal pope, I guess. But when looking at all this, I can't help but think, again, that this was always Meghan's level. She way overshot her capacity by marrying into the royal family. Meghan Markle's level was always bare bones basic influencer. That was always her level. So she is going back to her roots, you could say, because she can't really be royal. So she has to be a influencer again because that is her level and capacity. And I will also have to say the severe bun that she has really highlights like her face and like that she looks skeletal. So she's like skeletal in the face and then wearing this huge outfit like she weighs like 150 said 150. Let's be honest, like 250 pounds. Like that outfit doesn't work. And I think the challenge is always is when you get an outfit because how it works. And I imagine she got, let's say, the cream of the crop, but usually the fashion house sends you a couple of items to choose from. And if that's the best she got, I'm going to guess that Balenciaga is not hugely attached to her. They just wanted her there for the attention, nothing else. They don't really care. And so when she got that outfit, she's like, sure, I'll wear it. But she couldn't do anything interesting with it. There was a way to perhaps make that outfit a lot more interesting. I do have to give Beatrice Borromeo props because there was an outfit one time where she actually wore the shirt backwards. And she's a fashion ambassador for Dior. And if I'll find video of her attending a Dior show or Charlotte Katsaragi attending Chanel, I'll place it in there because I imagine they're not strutting because they don't have to. They're confident in themselves. They don't need the attention. Charlotte is the granddaughter of Grace Kelly, for Pete's sake. She is perfectly satisfied with herself, and she's not chasing fame and fortune. She already has it. Beatrice Borromeo, the same way. She is an Italian aristocrat. Her family line goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. So you just see a huge, massive, glaring difference. So this jaunt was all about the publicity. And she did get to like blow kisses, everyone, with Anna Wintour. So let's watch a little bit of this. So I think that's a Boz, the layman, I think, maybe. So, and she's moving out. She's got like 12 bodyguards, because she needs like 50 bodyguards because everybody's so interested in Meghan. And this is the other one where she looks, honestly, guys, let me see if it goes back to her. Hold on. She looks, it did it again. She looks dead-eyed to me. She looks dead-eyed. It looks like nobody's home. It looks like Very, very she doesn't care. There's, like, no excitement, no interest or whatever. Like, she's there and she's not there. Very, very dead eyes. Oh gosh, that's bad. Sorry. I'm scrolling through pictures trying to find videos that I wanted that I found earlier. And here she is posing. Meghan is not great at posing. And you can see again how horribly awful this outfit is. The whites don't even match. Like, she literally looks like a cardinal and priest. Like, I don't understand why in the world she thought this looked good, but it's about Meghan's level. It's about Meghan's level. And I will show this one other video here because you did get the sense of Megan strutting down the runway there, getting to her seat or leaving her seat or whatever. And she has, the 12. No, she's arriving at her seat. She's got, the 6 bodyguards, and somebody goes, wow. I'm not sure if like the wow was like, wow, that looks so bad. Wow, she looks amazing. There are those. Or wow, look at all those guys that are protecting her for no reason. I don't think she's at any risk at a fashion show. I'm so sorry. Except for if she wears fur, maybe then. But this was all an effort to seen and be seen because things are flopping pretty hard for her. Her show is flopped, her podcast is flopped, her brand is flopping. And the best way to sort of like alleviate some of that situation is to go ahead and do something else. And she did meet with Anna Wintour. Some people will read into that. But guys, most of people in Hollywood are terrible, horrible people, and that includes Anna Wintour. There's a whole book series, The Devil Wears Prada, about how terrible basically a person who's like Anna Wintour is. These are not pleasant people, and neither is Meghan, which is why she hangs out with them and why they somewhat tolerate her because they're as bad as she is. Let's be totally honest here. And everybody's jockeying for power and attention and fame and fortune and all these sorts of things. And so they'll use each other to infinity to achieve those things, which again is not really what royals do. Royals don't have to do that. When Queen Elizabeth walked into the fashion show, Anna Wintour was like, oh, Queen Elizabeth, like, how can I talk to you? Because Queen Elizabeth has power. She doesn't need to strut down a runway with 6 bodyguards to look important because she just simply is important. Huge difference. But there are a couple of bigger issues here. Number one, of course, is the controversy with Balenciaga. When I was actually on a trip last week with some of our followers, a couple said, I'm not really all that interested in Balenciaga because of this particular ad campaign where basically stuffed animals were in BDSM gear and they had kids there too. It was weird. It was a huge, massive controversy, like massive. Balenciaga took a huge hit from it. And a lot of people are turned off by Balenciaga now. And I don't think adding Meghan Markle to the equation is going to help matters at all because nobody likes her. You get attention, and that's what probably the people who are ahead of Balenciaga care about is the attention she'll generate because she does. But the attention generally doesn't really convert positively for anybody except for channels like mine and newspapers. Guys, when it comes to Meghan and Harry, I've said this a million times. They generate a lot of noise. It doesn't convert very well for them when it comes to their products, when it comes to their shows and series and whatever. This is why they've all failed, is because people want to see the drama attached to them. They don't care about anything else they're producing because they haven't proven they have much talent yet. And Meghan's definitely not proving she has anything to add to Balenciaga at this point. So the controversy there really matters because Meghan has made a huge stand with Harry about internet safety. And if internet safety for children is a huge platform, in fact, you have a whole organization dedicated called the Parents Network to helping support parents whose children have been harmed by the internet. Why are you supporting Balenciaga as a fashion house? Doesn't look that good. And yes, obviously, the directors and stuff have changed hands, the fashion directors, and I totally get that. But there still is an ugly taste in people's mouths because not everybody changes. And that somebody within the organization let it get that far that that ad campaign came out and people didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, of course, fashion, much like Hollywood, is a cesspool of debauchery, basically. In so many ways, like, people don't think about the impact of something like this ad campaign and what it means. That Meghan is totally willing to overlook it and just still support the brand tells you a lot about her because Meghan, of course, is always willing to throw away her principles for money. She's always willing to do that. This woman is only about the money, only about the freebies. She has proven this again and again and again. I'm getting echoes of her New York trip here, like exact echoes. And the other big controversy, of course, is that she refuses basically with her children to step foot in the UK because safety, safety. But she'll go to Paris. She'll be surrounded by a variety of people. And granted, yes, they're at the Balenciaga show. There's probably obviously not a security risk there in the slightest, really. But she's willing to go there. She's willing to have people who she doesn't know all around her. And then she won't go to the UK or bring her kids there. I call hypocrisy. I call BS. I call that she is a liar, in my opinion. She doesn't want to go to the UK because of safety. She doesn't want to go to the UK and be second fiddle because this woman must be the center of attention wherever she goes. And if she's with the royals, she is not. Although I would say, Meghan, you're in your mid 40s now. The popularity train is starting to really, really like crash down. You're getting older. And honestly, you look sickly. She looks sickly to me. She's so thin in the face, and that harsh hairdo, like, just exemplifies it. And honestly, she doesn't look pretty. She looks skeletal and weird and bizarre, and it's just not a good look. I think when her face was fuller, a bun worked because she had more to work with. But when you have nothing but skin and bones and you have a really severe hairstyle, you got to have really good bone structure maybe to pull that off, and she doesn't have great bone structure. It's probably better than mine, but still not great. So she doesn't want to go to the UK. But again, she's willing to go there. She's willing to inflict emotional damage on her children, her father-in-law, and her brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and her niece and nephews. Because it's better for her she goes to Balenciaga. Because it's better for her. She doesn't want to go there. She doesn't want to subject to criticism. Meghan Markle's whole thing is she doesn't want anybody to criticize her ever. We all should just be little automatons or the people in the insane asylum clapping along to her brilliance all the time because, in her mind, she's brilliant and she believes that all of us should see her brilliance as well. But I've been watching her since her and Harry started dating. Didn't know her before at all. And I generally knew people in Hollywood. And she has yet to impress me. The only thing that impresses me is how she can continually make some of the worst decisions I've ever seen a public figure make. Some of the worst PR decisions, business decisions, endlessly making awful, awful decisions. And so I see this disaster, and it's sort of par for the course, really. It really is. And it just should tell you again what sort of a horrible person she is. She's willing to throw away her principles for money and freebies and everything to attend the show, even though it has this terrible history with this terrible ad campaign. And one of the things she really tries to champion is the safety of children. And then you have the flip side of she'll go and get freebies and go to a free fashion show and everything for the fame, attention, and fortune, but she won't go and visit her husband's actual family members. Even if he wants to reconcile, she doesn't. And she doesn't care enough to actually help him make, like, you could say, his dreams a reality, help him with his family. She refuses to do that. It's only ever about serving Meghan. It doesn't look like Meghan is staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris. I was trying to look at some videos and try to see if that's where she was, because not everybody, I don't think, is reporting it yet. But there's an interesting point here nonetheless, which is that Prince Harry's mother, Diana, died in a car accident in Paris when she was being followed by paparazzi. And Meghan's appearing in Paris. I just can't help but think, because it's sort of like the paparazzi chase in New York, which I feel like they completely fabricated themselves. Yes, I think some paparazzos did want to get a picture, but they probably would have gotten their pictures and left. Like, that's it. But Harry and Meghan had to lead them around a massive car chase for like hours. I don't know, they might have even paid them to do this, trying to recreate a Diana scenario. And I'm thinking, are things getting so bad that Meghan once again is trying to recreate a Diana scenario to kind of hook Prince Harry in? I mean, it's some food for thought, right? I wouldn't put it past her. She's completely willing to do that sort of thing. Why else did she allegedly wear Princess Diana's favorite perfume on their first date? Why do you think he constantly talks about Diana in relation to her and stuff like that? Because that's what they talk about. And I feel like instead of, let's say, being helpful, I think it increases Prince Harry's paranoia. And I do feel quite sorry for him that that's what he has to deal with in some ways, is this wild paranoia stuff. Because what it's doing is that has irreparably damaged Harry's relationship with his family because he's so consumed with protecting Meghan from a Diana-like scenario, that he's thrown away multiple relationships in his life in pursuit of the idea that somehow his wife is like the next Diana, and that he is on now a mission to protect her like he couldn't his own mother. I just think still that that's unbelievably cruel to do to your husband. And I don't see really any differences here. And so this whole thing just reeks to me. But it did give me a really good laugh. That Zoolander moment, man. Oh, that's a good for a chuckle. If you need to like share with your friends and give them a good laugh, watch her walk out of hotels and stuff, or the fashion show. Going, ugh, get the picture. Get the picture because I'm sexy. You know, real royals, Megan, they actually move really, really quickly. That's one of the big challenges I have in photographing royals, is that they move a lot. They move very quickly because of security reasons. Yeah, but when it comes time to get her pictures in front and the spotlight on her, Megan throws security, her principles, anything out the window in pursuit, in my opinion, of money, fame, fortune, attention. And that is just, of course, encompassed by Meghan Markle. And she does herself no favors because this whole appearance just reiterates that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my dramatic recreation of Meghan Markle's look with a pillow cover. Yeah, because, so sexy there, right? I mean, I feel like anybody can recreate that outfit. I feel like a grandma in Florida has that exact outfit pretty much. I feel like that's something they wore on Golden Girls. That's it. That's it. Anyways, guys, that'll be definitely on the best and worst dress list of royal fashion news. If you guys haven't checked out my list from the Luxembourg recent ascension, please check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Bye.